Spiritually uncut.
Spiritually un.
Oh yeah, we back in the building, y'all. It is Tuesday, March 28th. Shout out to them Aries. You know what I'm talking about? Shout them out, shout them out. And I definitely got to shout out one special Aries in my life, my wife. Today is her birthday. Salute to Mrs. Seymour L. Love you, babe. Business must shall go on. You know what I'm talking about. And speaking of, babe, shout out to Raw Talent Performing Arts and the RTPA Incubator. If you are trying to get your programs into the school systems, get the RTPA Incubator a shout so we can go ahead and get you into these school systems. You know what I'm saying? And get you in front of that principal, you feel me? That's gonna sign that check. You did. Hey, I appreciate everybody for joining in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be with your boy and my boy. You did. Hey, I think I'm done talking. What y'all think?
Powered by Riverside FM.
Yo, peace, love, and light to everybody who is joining in. You know what's up. The version here, the reason for you joining and tuning in is to become a better version of yourselves. Yo, I speak a energy of understanding, love, solitude. Let's go ahead and dive deep. Once again, shout out to them Aries on today. Hey, at this point, he's not even a guest anymore. He's more like the co-host of Astrology Talk Tuesday. Give it up for my boy, Where you at? There he is. There he is.
Yo,
What's
yo.
happening, man?
What it do? What it do?
You
Y'all
got
know
it.
how we coming back with another one. We do the same thing, same time, every time, same rhyme. I want to say real quick, these are prescription glasses, though, so I don't want people to think like, why this nigga got shades on? These are prescription glasses. And I'm going to say that over and over again, periodically throughout the show, just for people that rejoin. On nobody thinking that this nigga too cool for school. He can't do his show without his shades on. They
Right,
ain't even
right,
stunner
right.
shades. These my, you feel me? I'm really
Fact,
blind out here. So
fact. Talk about really blind out here. You ain't blind, man. Talk about you
shit.
blind. how, how you feeling today, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling well. Give me 1 second, my bad.
Yes, sir. How's everybody out there doing on today?
But yeah,
Big
I
shout out
do.
to
I look a little too ridiculous, so I'm gonna go ahead and be blind for the show. Forget it. I'm gonna be blind for
you.
y'all.
You ain't look bad, man. It was your swag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
You
it's
know.
okay. I can see a little bit. I'm gonna rock out.
I mean,
I'm
straight up.
feeling good though, man. Sun shining, birds are chirping. Finna go make me some money after this. So, it's all love. Everything is everything right now.
That's always a good thing. Money is always a good thing.
A good
You did.
attitude, you know.
You did. Hey, before we continue on, everybody who's joining in, hey, if you all want a reading or anything, please get your information together now.
Right
So
now.
we can go forth midway. We can, you know what I'm saying, get all the information together and go forth. Cause
Yeah.
eventually, like me and So was just talking, you know, we gonna have to step into the astrology talk Wednesdays to do strictly readings.
hmm So then we be trying to get y'all to get the readings in because I want to do the reading for you, but
Facts.
you got to be ready when we done with the conversation. We open up the flow, and y'all be a little bit too slow. So
Ah,
all you got to do is pick up the pace, pick up your feet if you want to get the reading. Just so
that's
right
funny.
now at this show, um, put out whatever you looking for. Now don't overkill me now. You feel me? Don't come
Mm,
on asking for your sun, moon, rising, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus in your fifth house, and in a relationship with your auntie and uncle.
Right. We
Just take
definitely
it
going
easy. Work, help me help you. Help me
facts,
help.
facts. We definitely gonna keep it simple. That's where the personal 101 comes in. My want they want they north node, they want they
You give me the Chiron, which I got no problem with. I got no problem with doing it.
but
But
that's a personal reading.
yeah,
That's a personal reading. My eyes ain't finna get the whole ooh op on over the, you know what I'm saying? Not
yeah,
live.
it just take a lot
No.
of time. So
It
you
does.
know,
And look, and it's not because we're being cheap or anything like that, or it's that is a time consumed. You feel me?
yeah,
So
we just try to get it in and out. A little 5 minute, 10 minute reading, 15 even if we doing deep. But but
the
today, what we doing today? Oh, my bad, my bad.
no. You will. So last week, gang, we talked about um, dualities, and if you can break down for the ones that wasn't here last week, what a quick explanation of what dualities mean. And today we're talking and going over modalities, but last week we touched on and broke down duality. So describe what, in your own words, of course, what dualities, and then explain in your own words, of course, what modalities mean.
So, of course, as far as astrology goes, and astrology is the study of the celestial beings and the interaction, the the influence that they have on human life.
Facts.
Duality in astrology basically means the dual. That's the root word in duality is dual,
Hmm.
DUAL. And what does dual mean? Two.
Right. Right.
So the dualistic sides of the zodiac, meaning it's only two. The only way you can divide the zodiac wheel into two would be based upon the charge of the zodiac signs, meaning the
Okay.
positive and the negative, the
Right.
masculine and the feminine, the
Right.
yin and the yang, the in,
Hmm.
the out, the up, the down, the back, the forth, the harmony. You know what I mean? So that's what makes the zodiac wheel work. That's what makes them be able to work with each other and flow it from one side to the next side. That's why
Right.
you don't have two positive signs. Because what happened when you put a positive magnet next to another positive magnet? They repel each other.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what the dualities is.
Okay. 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 All right. So once again, big ups to everybody who caught that lesson last week. It was definitely deep and on point. Um, so this week we're stepping forth with modalities. So,
And
um,
modalities is, well, if dual is the root word of dualities, if you put two and two together, what would the root word of modality be? Would be mode. So modality is basically describing the mode that this sign is in.
okay,
So let's break it
mode like
down.
MOD.
Hmm
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let's break it down. We got 12 zodiac signs.
Mm-hmm.
We went through the signs, and then we went through the elements. We got 4 elements. And then we went through the dualities. We have 2 dualities.
Right. Right.
So if we have 12, we're doing the math because it's all gonna tie into each other. We
Mm-hmm.
got 12 zodiac signs. We got 4 elements. So you can divide the 12 up by 4. That means each element is responsible for 3 zodiac signs.
Right. Right.
So three zodiac signs for earth, 3 zodiac signs for air, 3 zodiac signs for water, and 3 zodiac signs for fire.
Mm.
Bam. Now, if there's only 3 modes that the zodiac signs can be divided in, that means each mode is responsible. 12 divided by 3, each mode is responsible for 4 zodiac
Mm-hmm.
signs.
Right. Right.
That means each mode has 4 zodiac signs in them.
Okay.
Now, I had to break it down like that before I explain what the modes are, just to give you a little extra step.
Okay. Okay.
So the modes are the beginning, middle, end, fast, medium, My bad, slow, medium, fast.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so those are the modes that the elements like to behave in. So if you have fire, you have slow fire, you got medium fire, and you got fast fire. Well, in this case, in zodiacs, fast will go first. So you got fast fire, medium fire, then the slow fire.
Okay.
Another way to say that would be to say cardinal, fixed, or mutable.
Right. Right.
That would be, so those are the modalities, those are the modes that the elements like to behave in each zodiac sign.
Dig
So
that.
each element has a cardinal mode, each element has a fixed mode, and each element has a mutable mode. Let that marinate on your soul,
Right.
right?
Facts
So
on the real.
one more time, each element has a cardinal mode. My bad. Yes, each element has a cardinal mode. Each element has a fixed mode. Each element has a mutable mode. Cardinal means to initiate.
Mm.
Fixed means to stabilize. Mutable means to relate. So cardinal likes to start it. Fixed likes to stabilize it.
Mm-hmm.
And mutable likes to relate it amongst all. So, that being said, I'm just going to go through every zodiac sign and explain which one is which so that
Right.
the people would know. So, starting from the top to the bottom, first being Aries. You know, Aries got to be first. It's the baby, plus it's Aries season. Happy birthday, Aries. Battleways, if you
Facts.
ain't hearing from Solo, the kid himself, happy birthday to all the Aries out there.
Big facts.
You
Big
know,
facts.
y'all real crazy. I'm an Aries moon, by the way. So once the moon roll around in Aries, I'm turned up right with y'all. You feel me?
Oh,
Like this
fact
odd.
on
You
the
feel me?
real.
The way that y'all see the world and the way that y'all act out, that's the way that I feel on the inside. I feel like that. You feel me? So
Mm.
you feel me? There's a relationship between me and Aries in general.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I think it's same here because I'm Aries moon too.
yeah, you Aries moon cusp, ain't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we did the cusp too. We did the cusp too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
We did
we got a decent amount of the catalog. Ain't
eight to be
but
exact.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But all right, let's get back into it. Aries being the first zodiac sign is a first fire sign. It being first, I just want to see if the people could guess what mode do you think fire is in when it's acting in Aries? Is it acting in fast cardinal mode? Is it acting in stabilizing fixed mode? Or is it acting in relating mutable? Time's up. So Aries is a cardinal sign. It's cardinal fire, meaning it likes to initiate new. It likes to initiate new things, create new things. It likes to initiate it. But what is fire? It's like a calculator. You add the mode and then you add the element. You mix those together and you get the zodiac sign. So
Mm-hmm.
the element will be fire. The mode will be cardinal. Mix those together, you got Aries. So cardinal, fire, Aries. What's cardinal? Initiate and create. What's fire? Seeing and feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
to see something and feel it and want somebody else to see it as opposed to just feeling it and keeping it inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's the relationship fire and water have with one another. Fire, like water, likes to feel, but it likes to internalize the feelings and keep it inside, while fire likes to feel, but it wants to show you what they're feeling. They like to show you. That's why fire signs get the reputations of being angry and things like that, because they're showing you hot emotions, hot
Got you.
feelings. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it looks like they're angry, but to them, to them, yeah, they angry. You feel me? Yeah, they angry. So yeah, so cardinal plus fire, you get Aries. Aries is a cardinal fire sign, which means it likes to initiate and create new ways to see and feel about things. That's why they like to be the first ones to express how they see something, how they think it should go. And the way other people think it should go just simply does not matter. It don't even matter how you think it should go, because I already got how I think it should go, and this is what we finna do. It is what it is. So, man, Aries is a cardinal fire sign. They like to initiate and create new ways to see and feel about things. Next, we got Taurus. Taurus is a earth sign. I wonder if the people will be able to guess what mode slow ass Taurus is in when it's acting in Earth. And when I say slow, I don't mean intelligence. I don't mean wits. I don't mean your smarticle particles. I'm not talking about that. When I say slow, I mean slow to move to action, slow to move to do something that's not exactly what you want to do. If it's not exactly what you want to do, if somebody wants you to do it, don't lie to me. You moving real slow when you do it. So that's what I
Facts.
mean when I say slow. If the people could guess what mode Earth is in when it's acting in Taurus, time's up. Taurus is a fixed Earth sign.
For
So
sure.
it likes to say fixated. It likes to stay. It don't want to go to and fro. It want to stay where it's at because it
Facts.
needs to stabilize.
Mm.
So since it wants to stabilize and it's Earth, let's put it together like a calculator. You got Earth, my bad. You got fixed, which likes to stay fixated and stabilized. And then you got Earth, which likes to think and practicalize. Think, which means think and internalize. That's the relationship Earth and air has with one another. Where Earth likes to think, I mean, my bad, where air likes to think and then communicate, which means speak out. Earth likes to think and internalize, which means they like to more so go based on what makes sense. Like the air signs, they just simply want to communicate. They'll think something, they know it, and they want to communicate it. But Taurus, earth signs, my bad, likes to make sure that that checks out first. They want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that that makes sense. Is it
Facts.
practical? Does it is that
Right.
really
Mm-hmm.
logical what you're saying right now? So that's the relationship Earth and air has with one another. So Taurus is a fixed earth sign, which means it likes to stay fixated and stabilized on ways to think and internalize, which means they like to stay fixated on the way that they think and the way that they think things make sense. So once a Taurus thinks this is the way that something is supposed to make sense, they're going to stay fixated on that. They're not going to create a new way to do it, and they're not going to relate a new way to do it. They're going to stay fixated on the way that they know that this is the way that it makes sense. They're going to stay right there. So, that's just it's really different when you talk about the fixated signs because you can't move them. You're not going to be able to sway them unless they deem that
Unless
that
they will.
solution is necessary.
Facts.
So if anybody is having this problem with a Taurus, it's really nothing that you can do about that until you get them to change their mind or find out a way to make that make sense, practical sense, and it might have to have something to do with
Man,
money. Might have
bro.
to have something to do with money or food. Taurus love food.
Right.
So it might have something to do with Taurus or food or something like that, but it got to make sense to them. If you're having a problem with a Taurus and they don't see you eye to eye, make it make sense to throw some money or some food. They might budge.
Dude, my daughter is triple Taurus. She
Oh
she Taurus
man,
sun, Taurus moon. I think
yeah.
she either Taurus rising or Taurus Mercury or Mars. One of them. My
Ooh, it's
my
Taurus.
Mars is in Taurus.
And Taurus. I think my Mars is in Libra. Mars is in Taurus. So I do a quick reading on that. If anybody got Mars in Taurus, you in for a treat. Mars in Taurus means you are passionate about your possessions. That means
Hmm.
things that you have that are personally yours. You're passionate about that and you're willing to fight about it. You're willing to
Facts.
go to war about things that you feel are valuable to you.
Hmm.
And you're not really compromising about that. It also means you're probably not a compromising person in general. Like you're not really too quick to come to a compromise. Once you understand that this, like I just said, once you understand that this is the way that something is supposed to make sense, you become passionate about that. So
Hmm.
not only is this the way that it makes sense, I'm willing to act on it. I'm willing to show you fire. Mars is a fiery planet. I'm willing to show you that you ain't finna change the way that I feel about this. I'll fight you for it, whatever's about to happen, but that's something that you will fight about. If somebody was to come and just break your camera, you will fight about that. It's a lot of things that you might let slide. You being an Aquarius, in general, but now that Aries moon might tick something off. But you being a Taurus, Mars and Taurus, off the rip, if anybody was to destroy something that belonged to you that you saw was valuable, you will be ready to fight them about that. Probably even kill them if it was something that was that valuable. And don't let it
Like
be family.
this
You then
ring.
it'd be ready to kill somebody about that.
Yeah, like this ring right here. This right here is my father's wedding ring.
Oh yeah, see, something like that, you'll go to war for
I would.
it. You'll
If
go
I
to
ever.
war for it.
Yeah, yeah, I would. That's crazy.
But
Facts.
yeah, so that's little drippity drop for anybody that got Mars and Taurus. Moving on to Gemini.
You did.
Gemini um is a air sign, and I just want to know if the people would be able to guess what mode would the air be acting in when it's in Gemini. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to guess because Gemini is a wild card. You would never really know.
I mean, I know, but
Oh yeah, you already know. I give them a couple of seconds.
all right.
So Gemini is a mutable sign, which means they like to relate. They like to relate to others. They don't. They have their own. See, when you get to the mutable, all of the mutable signs is kind of like a magical wild card because they can do all three. They could start something. They could like stay fixated on something, and they could relate it to others. They think they like the jack of all trades, but they
Mm-hmm.
masters of none. Like they don't stay fixated on anything long enough to master it. So they'll know a lot about a lot, but they won't know much about like a specific thing. Like they won't be specialists.
Right.
So like, and that's just mutable signs in general. But Gemini is a air mutable sign. And if you put it together like a calculator, we got mutable, which likes to relate, and then we got air, which likes to think and communicate, which
Right.
is different from earth, which likes to think and internalize, practicalize, compartmentalize. Air wants to think and communicate and speak. So you put that together with mutable, you got mutable air. They like to relate new ways of thinking and communicating. So they always want to communicate. They always thinking. This is the way that they go about life, thinking and communicating. That's why they always talking. Because they're not just talking the way that they talk. They
Right.
they talk so much that they learn how other people talk. And the way that
Mm-hmm.
they talk, they learn, oh, you only talk like that because you think this way. And Gemini's is real good at picking out words to find out what kind of person you is by the words, by the word phrases you use, by the patterns of words that you use. If a Gemini is listening, they know what I'm talking about because Geminis pay attention to these kind of things. It's ruled by Mercury, that attention to the details of thinking and communicating. It's the words and the word patterns, the word phrases. So if you talking to a Gemini, they could determine what kind of person you are just by having if you have a long in-depth conversation. Not only can they determine what kind of person you is, they will be able to mimic it. They will be able to relate to you so well, you will feel like you so in tune with this Gemini because they communicate with you so well. You can have conversations with them that
Mm.
you never had with nobody else. That's because they turned into you in the middle of y'all conversation. They turned into your ass and they gave you a mirror, and now you talking, and that's why it's meshing so well. But at any given moment, they could turn right back into their self, and you'll be like, "Whoa, what the fuck? My bad. What the heck? You just changed up out of nowhere." And the Gemini, like, I ain't changed up. That's why people think they two-faced. Like, I ain't changed up nothing. To them, that's normal what they doing. They don't know that that's crazy as fuck. That's
Mm.
some crazy stuff to do. But to them, it's normal. It's life. It's how you go about life. So it's a cheat code that they got access to because, like I said, mutable signs is kind of magical. They able to tap into the entire spectrum of whatever element that they under. So Gemini is the ultimate intellect because other aside from like different from Aquarius, Aquarius will be very intellectual about the things that they are interested in. Stuff that they're not interested in, they won't
Right.
they won't bother it. Gemini will be very intellectual about stuff that they're interested in, and they will also be very intellectual about stuff that they're not interested in. They will be
Mm.
very intellectual about stuff that they hate. They'll be very intellectual about stuff that they love. Everything, every aspect of life, Geminis are going to be very intellectual in. They're going to be very intellectual at sex. You feel me? Everything that they do, they're going to be very intellectual, very mental, very thinking about it, everything. So that's what makes them the ultimate intellect of the entire zodiac sign. I mean, of the entire zodiac wheel. So you could say that they're the smartest, but just because they are really so so let's say an Aquarius and a Gemini was to get into a debate, Aquarius will tell a Gemini up in a debate because if you was to get under an Aquarius if you was to get under the Aquarius's umbrella of interest, they're gonna cook your ass. Like it's just there's
So,
no, it don't matter what
so
zodiac sign
hey,
it is.
so look, right? Oh, I got it. You right, right. Look, big ups to my homie. I ain't gonna say his name, but me and him go way back, and he a Jimmy, right? And I ain't seen him in a minute because he had moved out of town, came back, and we was hooping. I ain't gonna say
Mm,
too much, right? So we was all doing our thing, and I kept noticing that he liked to spit just a little bit to make him sound a certain kind of way about a conversation. He'd dab and then shut up and then come back in and then wanted to debate me. And what happened was he kept going with me to see how far he can go with me until I cooked his ass.
yeah.
Because what I was speaking on, like you just said, like an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius to the heart. I'm February the 8th. What we was talking on is what I knew, like you said. But me, I was a nerd as a youngin' and growing up, so I learned a lot. You feel me? And I know a lot because my father was a Gemini cusp of Cancer,
Mm,
June 21st.
yeah.
That dude, he was so I from that I knew so much because of him. Because he was a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
Jack of all
So
trades.
yeah, use facts about that. Facts about that. Real talk. Go
Mm,
ahead,
Jack
though.
of all trades. So that's what I'm saying. If you was to get it, if a Gemini and Aquarius was to get into a debate and it happens to be under the umbrella of an Aquarius's interest, they gonna cook you. It don't matter what zodiac sign you is. However, the very second you step out of that umbrella of interest, Gemini got all that. You feel me?
Right,
Like
right.
Gemini, because as soon as you start talking about, all right, but what about cars then? Oh shit, I don't know nothing about cars. Well, I know a lot about cars. That's how
Right,
Gemini
right.
coming at you. Like, well, all right, well, what about
And
what
that's how
about
they be.
you feel me? Oh, well, all right, you got me on that. They ain't gonna let you know that you got them. They gonna argue to the death.
They
But
do.
when they got you gonna know that they got you, and you ain't gonna have no choice but to be like, all right, well, you got that one because if they got it, they got it, and more than likely, if it's something outside of what you already interested in, they most likely got it.
But what do we areas most of the time? We're known to conquer shit,
If
right?
we want to,
If we want to, but if we want to, what do we
if we
do?
want to,
We gonna conquer that, right?
yeah,
So one thing I learned about a Gemini real quick is just be quiet. That sort of kind of kills it because they want to argue. So I learned, like, you know what? Like you say, if it don't interest me, I ain't finna talk about it. And one thing I'm not finna do is waste my time arguing.
definitely not gonna argue about it. Like I don't even
So
care about that.
right. So at the end of the day, like
But to
I don't.
them, they won. Soon as you say that, soon as you say
Right.
what you just said, well, you know what? Yeah, I ain't gonna. They won. They take it. They taking that point because they're the ultimate intellect. They want to show that off.
And I told
So
that motherfucker, I said, I don't give no fuck, bro. Whatever.
yeah, that's all you can do at that point.
I don't give a shit.
That's all you can do. Just all right, man.
Oh,
You
for
got it. You
real.
got it, bro.
You got it, man. Keep it
So yeah,
moving, bro.
Gemini, they are mutable air. They like to relate new ways of thinking and communicating, which means they want to relate on all ways of communicating.
Facts.
I mean, I said relate new ways. I meant to say relate all ways of thinking and communicating, not relate new ways. New is cardinal.
Right, right,
So
right.
anyway, next we have Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. and it's the first water sign that shows up in the zodiac wheel. Now, it being the first, I'm gonna get a little audience little second to guess what mode do they think water is acting in when it's going through Cancer.
Ah,
So Cancer, did they guess? I can't see no comments or nothing.
nah, go here.
But Cancer is a cardinal water sign. Remember we said Aries was the last cardinal sign that we went over. Cardinal means initiate and create. Water means to feel and internalize, emotionalize, like dig deep. So cardinal water, put it together like a calculator. You got a sign that likes to initiate and create new ways to feel and internalize emotions, which means they feel their feelings, they internalize their feelings, and they come up with a new way to do that. So other people really don't know how they're doing that, but they're doing it, and other people really don't know how to relate to it because it's brand new. Nobody never seen it before, and they still may not never see it because it's emotions. It stays inside. So it's inside, and not only is it inside, it don't plan on coming out unless it has to come out. And by the time that it has to come out, it's not going to come out in the soothing way that it wants to come out because it has to come out fast. It has to come out first because that cardinal is just agitating it. So that's why it has to like explode through, and by the time it has to get to that point, it's like taking a bottle of soda, Pepsi, shaking it up, and then taking the top off. It's gonna explode out of there. So that's kind of the energy when you mix emotions with cardinal. They like to initiate and create new ways to emotionally, my bad, to feel and internalize emotions. Feel and internalize emotions. They like to find a new way to do that.
Gotcha.
So like I'm trying to think of a good example. Like say if a Cancer and a Capricorn was to be having a conversation about something that they both felt deeply about. Both of them are cardinal signs, but where a Capricorn will be pointed to the things that make sense out of the situation because they want to go to that first. They want to be the first ones to make sense out of it. Well, the cardinal water want to be the first ones to come up with a way to emotionally internalize that exact situation. So you trying to make sense out of something that I'm feeling and you trying to do it first. That's where they'll be butting heads. Capricorn and Cancer are opposites, by the way. So them being in that cardinal mode, they'll be doing two different things, but using the same mode. They trying to do it fast and first. So that's kind of the energy. It's about being fast and being first, but you add that to water and emotions and internal. They emotions are fast and first. It's never been seen before. It's just been created. So yeah, that would be Cancer. It is a cardinal water sign.
Dig.
So next we got Leo.
You did.
Leo is a fire sign. The fire sign that likes to show off. They want people to see what you know what they got to offer, see how they live it.
Right.
But we talking about fire. So in order for fire to stay still long enough for you to see it, I just want to get an audience a couple of seconds to guess what mode would fire be acting in if it was acting in Leo. Time's up because I don't even fuck with Leo like that. So nah, I just fuck with y'all. Y'all cool peoples, man. Y'all, it's just the opposite of Aquarius. But no, I got a lot of homies as Leo. You feel me? I'm just fucking around.
Facts.
But Leo is a fixed fire sign. So remember when we did Taurus, when we explained fixed likes to stabilize. They like to stay stable. So they like to stay fixated and stay stable. So when you got stableness, fixated energy, and then you got fire, remember what fire is, seeing and feeling. That means you got put it together like a calculator. You got Leo. which means they like to stay fixated and stabilized on a way of seeing and feeling about something or seeing about things in general. So when they figure out a way to see and feel about something, they stay fixated on that. Once they see, all right, this is the way, like they visualize it in their head first. Fire is seen, but it don't exist. You never seen fire, even though you seen flames. That's not fire.
Right.
Flames is what happens when you introduce fire to this reality.
Right.
Once you flick a bic or light a stove or anything like that, all you seeing is what happens when fire comes into contact with this reality, and
Right.
automatically you see what happens. It burns it, and by it burning it, it's showing you itself. So it's not actually showing you what it is, it's showing you what it does, what it's capable of. So you've never actually seen fire for real. All you see is flames, and flames is the fire burning the oxygen around it. Like, what's my lighter? Well, missed out on that example. I don't got my lighter on me. But if I had my lighter, you just light over there. So most people assume that this is fire, but this
Right.
is
Right.
not fire. Fire is just, this is an illusion. This is what you see. So once I stop flicking the bit, the gas stopped the ignition, and the ignition stopped, so it stops burning the oxygen around it. That's all it's doing. It's just burning the oxygen that's around this flame. So if you have fixated flames to the point where you're able to see it, that's what Leo is doing. It likes to stay fixated on the way of seeing something, but you can't really see fire. It's more visual. It's more spiritual. It's more internal. That's why it's related to water. It's feminine, but it's the masculine version of feminine, because
Right.
once it's created internally, it gets expressed externally. So when I say see, I'm not saying see with your eyes. I'm saying see without your eyes. I'm saying imagine, the
Right. Right.
imagination of it. And once you imagine that, a Leo imagines themselves a certain way, and they stay fixated on that, and they use attention to grow that idea. So whatever way that they see themselves, they imagine themselves that way, and then they gain attention, they gather attention, and only a way that a Leo could do. I don't know how to do it because I'm not a Leo, but they know how to do it very well, and that's what they do. They use all of that attention, whether it's positive or negative. They take it all in to feed the way that they see themselves, and then they show the world how they see themselves. So, and they do that by staying fixated on the way that they see and feel about themselves. And you do use themselves a lot because Leo know they know that I know how much they love themselves. A
Right.
Leo
Right.
love themselves like a motherfucker. So don't even try to argue with me, Leo. I know this. The jig is up. The jig is up. The jig is up. The world knows now. So
That's funny.
yeah.
That's funny.
Next we got Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. And it's the earth sign that well, if I would have said that, I would have gave away the answer. But it's an
Leo
earth
said,
sign.
"Don't do us."
Huh?
Oh,
What you
Leo
say?
said, "Don't do us."
Oh, somebody said don't do it. They know. They know how much they love themselves.
Uh,
Don't even play. The jig is up. Secrets out, cats out of the box, rabbits out of the hat.
that's funny.
But
You keep going,
you see, I
bro.
caught a tiger by the tail with that one.
You did.
Hit dogs holler, goddamn it. Now let me stop playing. I got an old granddad. For Hell no.
Hell that shit. That's funny. All right, keep going, bro. That was funny.
All right, so next we got Virgos.
Oh man.
Virgos likes to I almost keep doing that. Anyway, Virgo is an earth sign. And when I went back to Earth likes to think and practicalize. So when you think and practicalize and add Virgo into it, I don't know. That's why I keep stopping. I don't know if people would be able to guess this one. Virgo is a hard sign to guess anyway, just in general.
It was when I first figured that out because I thought, well, I'm gonna answer this one. So I thought they were fixed, but they ain't.
Mhm. Nah,
They're
they not.
mutable.
That's because they just stubborn. Like Virgos is just different. They level of stubborn is different from Taurus because it's rooted in what makes sense to them. Virgos, they level of stubborn is because it's rooted in stuff that don't make sense. Like they be like, well, this don't make sense, and that don't make sense, and that don't make sense. So this gotta make sense. Like, no, it don't work like that. Like just because all that other shit don't make sense, that don't mean what you saying makes sense. Like that shit
Right,
don't make
right,
sense either. You feel me? But they don't see it like that. They're like, nah, nah, nah. We can't all be wrong. You feel me? Like
right, right,
that's how they
right.
see it. Like, cause you wrong. Like they know that that's all they know. As long as they know that you wrong, they okay with the rest of the conversation. But they know that you wrong, and all they gotta do is be a little bit of right, and they cool with that.
Right, right,
They,
right.
that's all cool.
That's
But they
fact.
know you wrong. Like that's the bottom line.
Oh shit.
That's because Virgos know how to point out the inconsistencies. Virgo know how to point out what's wrong in something. Like say if we were sitting here having this conversation and I had a hole right here, a Virgo would not be able to let this video go past without commenting, "Hey, he got a hole in his shirt." They wouldn't be able to help themselves because they gotta point out what's wrong. They got to. They'll feel like something to go bad if they don't point out what's wrong. So it's they got to. And I don't know if I spent too much time, but yes, it's mutable. So Virgos like to relate, relate all ways of thinking and communicating. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to do that because there's so many ways of thinking and communicating that you could be wrong when you think that you're right, and you could be right when you think that you're wrong. This is the problem that Virgo go through in their head. They don't know what's up and down, and they don't know which way to go because so much shit makes sense and so much shit don't make sense, and they just want to be perfect. And ain't nothing perfect. You see how much Virgo know exactly what I'm going through right now while I'm explaining it. So if it's any Virgos watching, I know you know what I'm saying when I'm saying all this. Ain't you want to be perfect, but you're never perfect because ain't nothing perfect. But you already perfect. So why am I not perfect when I know I'm perfect? But I'm not
Right.
perfect. You feel me? So it's that's why it's very difficult to be a Virgo in this lifetime because you're trying to relate all ways of thinking and communicating, but you're trying to internalize it, which means a Virgo will probably go quiet their whole life until they know what's about to come out of their mouth makes sense. You're never gonna catch a Virgo slipping. You're never gonna catch a Virgo saying some bullshit unless they like an alcoholic, not even an alcoholic Virgo. They still be on point. Like
Right,
Virgos in general, they just be on point about things. So the same way how um hold up. Right. The same way how Gemini is the ultimate intellect as far as thinking and communicating,
right, right, right.
Virgo is the ultimate intellect as far as thinking and internalizing. So when it comes to thinking in words and word patterns, a Virgo could do the same thing. A Virgo could listen to somebody talking to decipher what kind of person that they is just off of their conversation. The difference between Virgo and Gemini is a Gemini would have to let you know that. A Gemini would have to let you know that they think that they know what you're thinking. They won't be able to be quiet about it. A Virgo will not be able to disclose that information until they know that they're correct. And once they know that they're correct, you're not going to be able to tell them that they're wrong because they done already told themselves that they was wrong when they was wrong all the times that they was wrong. So once they figure out, all right, I was wrong all them times, this time it's not wrong. And that's when they're going to open their mouth and say something to you. Other than that, they now unfortunately, once you grow to be an adult, you go through a lot of experiences. So you do this a lot of times. So as a Virgo that's going through this, you done checked yourself and rechecked yourself and checked again. You done did that so many times that you can tell when you wrong and fix it before somebody else can tell you that you're wrong. And then that's when you're able to communicate it. So it's kind of like not wanting to put your foot in your mouth. A Virgo never want to put their foot in their mouth. They never want to say something today that don't make sense tomorrow. If they say something, they want to be able to back up what they said today and yesterday and the day before that and all the way back through the times of life. Because they have to relate the ways of thinking and internalizing what makes sense.
Man, you ain't never lied, man. I know so many Virgos and I know so many Geminis. That's crazy. But one specific relationship that I know Facts. Virgo, a male Virgo, and a male Gemini. Take it back to church. I ain't gonna say no names, but pastor was a Virgo, old school Virgo,
Mm.
and the musician, the head musician, was a Gemini. They used to butt heads. Some says they used to butt heads, but now the Gemini musician is now the pastor.
I was just gonna say, I bet you the Gemini was the one that was um probably right about the situation. The Virgo just wasn't finna let you know that they wrong. They, even if they is wrong, they just not about to let you know that. It
That's
just
exactly what happened. Cause I can't say too much, but the Gemini was given suggestions, of course, to grow the church. I just say that, and the Gemini was, he was younger at the time. I mean, he's
yeah,
he was
he's
younger.
still
So
younger.
right, so he was once again Gemini mutable. He was relatable to all the youth. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. To this day, he's very successful when it comes down to that side of business.
Hmm. You're probably able to think it's about the communication part
It
of it.
is.
You could think
It
about
is.
you could think about it to yourself all you want, but if you're not able to relay that in a successful package, and people not able to relate to what you're saying, which is what Gemini got Virgo beat. Like Gemini is gonna have a better word, a better mouthpiece than Virgo, unless Virgo put the energy into developing that. Now, Virgo put energy into developing that, then Virgo would have been better off than a Gemini. But if you don't put in that energy, that work, then it ain't gonna happen against a Gemini.
Yeah,
But
because Virgo's got a hard time talking to people.
yeah, they ain't really with that. They
They,
had a person that they talk to, but like I said, don't run into a Virgo that study what they know, and like that's deep into that. They
oh,
gon' they
I
gonna have
know.
a they gonna be real good at talking. Then like
I already
you ain't
know.
gonna be able to get them to shut up because
I don't see this thing. I don't know
they'll
any.
run circles.
I don't know. I don't know any dumb or non-intelligent Virgos. All the Virgos I know, they was either street niggas, um, my older brothers, um, but I don't know no punks. That's Virgos. Like you said, Taurus. I ain't met a Virgo yet that was a punk.
You probably not gonna meet one. Probably not gonna meet one.
They ain't scary at all. It ain't that at all. You feel me?
Literally at all. That's because they probably not too quick to jump at something, but you ain't finna pump
Nah,
them.
facts. They out there because they don't bother nobody. You feel
Yeah,
me?
don't bother you, but
You know
you
what
ain't
I'm
finna
saying?
like no.
Like, ain't too many people gonna jump in my brother country. The one who can't play ball with us.
Nah, hell no. I bet you they not. What the hell?
He a Virgo.
That's a big ass dude, but size of Virgo, shit.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. You
Nah, but
know?
I know I feel you. But
Yeah.
we gonna move on to Libras. Libras is an air sign. Air is a sign that likes to think and communicate. And then you got um Libra's a cardinal sign.
For sure.
Libra is a cardinal air sign.
For sure.
So they like to initiate and create new ways to think and communicate, meaning they want to
They
be the first
communicate.
one that came up with a way to talk about this. That's why they probably adapt to gossip a lot more than a lot of the other signs because they like to talk. They
Mm.
like to initiate conversations. They like to start
You
conversations
don't you
so
don't
they can
think
find
Gemini's like that though?
a Gemini just like to talk. Whether they start in the conversation, finishing the conversation, stabilizing the conversation, they'll do all of it. A Libra will start the conversation and then leave it alone. Like they'll start it and then leave you hanging in the middle of the conversation. Or they're not gonna have the conversations that you want to have. They're gonna have the conversation
Right. They
like they'll
they
talk
want
about
to
something.
have.
Right. They'll talk about something that they want to talk about. And then once you change the subject, they'll get on the phone on you and not care about what you're talking about. They're interested in what they're talking about.
So would that be that cardinal aspect of them.
Yeah, because they want to be first. They like to
Right.
initiate it. They like to start it off. So
Shit.
you could initiate it. You can initiate a conversation with a Libra, but it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Because what happens when you put two like things together? They repel. So if you try to initiate against the initiator, they gonna be like, hold on, don't be trying to start no conversations with me.
Right,
That
right,
sound like
right.
something a Libra will say. Don't be trying to start no conversations with me right now. I ain't trying to talk. But when they ready to talk, you gonna want to listen to them because they're good at that. That's their superpower. They're good at starting conversations. So they gonna come up with the juiciest information or the most
The
informative conversation.
juiciest.
Whatever type of person this Libra is compared to the people that they hanging around, they're gonna know how to start a conversation. So you're not gonna be able to ignore them the way that they could ignore you because they're talented at initiating and creating new ways to think and communicate. So whatever conversation that they want to have, they're gonna find a way to start that conversation and have that conversation. But once they're done with it, they done with it. They don't they it's a wrap. So
That's
bada bing,
that,
bada boom.
that's a
Then
Libra
we
for
got
you.
Scorpio. My bad, I'm
Okay.
speed up a little bit.
There you
But
go.
then we
Go
got
ahead.
Scorpio, which is a water sign, which means they like to um internalize. They like to stick. All right, they like to internalize emotions, but they're a fixed water sign,
Water sign.
which means they
Okay.
like to say fixated and stabilized on the way that they feel, internalize emotions. So the way that they internalize their emotions, their feelings, they like to stay fixated on that. They're not trying to deal with their emotions the way that you deal with your emotions. They're not trying to create a new way to deal with their emotions. They already got the way that they deal with their emotions, and that's how they gonna do it. They're gonna deal with it the way that they see fit. They don't need your input about it. They don't want your input about it. Even if they talking to you, even if you feel like that they expressing and pouring their heart out to you and giving you their diary, they don't want no input. They just letting you know how they feel. This how I feel, and this how I'm gonna feel, regardless of whatever. They don't really want no suggestions. They just letting you know this how I feel right now. And
Because they're a
yeah,
fixed sign.
they fixated on that. Whatever that feeling is, they gonna stay fixated on that and stay stabilized on that. And being since it's Scorpio, let's see what Scorpio is. It's a fixated water sign, which means they like to stay fixated and stabilized on the way they feel and internalize emotions. It's ruled by Mars, which is a planet of passion and anger and aggression, and it's co-ruled by Pluto, which adds the deepness to the anger, aggression, and passion, but also power and transformation and ability to create change. So when you, I mean, my bad, inability. So once you add all of that to one thing, those emotions that they fixated on, it started from when they was a baby all the way up to whatever age that they is. They still holding on to feelings that they had when they was 4 and 5 years old because that's what they're naturally talented at. Other little kids wasn't doing that. Other little kids wasn't experiencing things and holding on to it for forever. So when they turn 10 and 11, they seem a little bit more darker than the kids around them. Then when they turn 15, they a little bit more sexual than the kids around them because they just them being a Scorpio, they naturally find themselves in sexual situations, whether they like it or not. So they've been through these things and they got to kind of keep it a secret. They don't really want people to know about it because sex is kind of a thing that you keep behind closed doors. So since this is something that they holding on to and internalizing their emotions about, it gets deep and it goes so deep that it gets stuck down there. And it gets so stuck that any emotion that you add onto it gets the same treatment. So once they get that emotion solidified and stuck down there, the next emotion piled on top of that, and they get the same treatment that the 4-year-old emotion got dealt with. And that get the same treatment that the 15-year-old emotion got dealt with. So by the time this person 25 and 27 and 28, almost any emotional experience is gonna get immediate emotional reaction that other people can't see. So they'll be feeling things that other people don't even know what they feeling or why they feeling it. And they won't be able to express it to them without having an agenda because you add Mars back into it. That's where you get that selfishness. So even if they is relaying their emotions to you, I'm sorry, Scorpio, for telling your secrets like this, but even if they is giving you like their deepest parts of themselves, even that is a part of the agenda that they feel like they gonna gain some kind of up on you about. So watch out for that. If you find a Scorpio expressing their deepest feelings to you, you want to watch out for that. You want to be around a Scorpio that's quiet and they are talented at controlling their emotional vibrations. So, like on their own without spilling
Damn.
them out to you. Like if a Scorpio is spilling their feelings out to you, they are not as stable as they may be trying to present themselves. Sorry about that. I had to throw that out there. I got on Leo too, so y'all can't get mad at me.
Damn. You just you. It's a couple Scorpios in my circle that's like near me, and you show just spit them out. Damn.
Yeah, they ain't gonna like that part. But be more honest. All I can say, be more honest.
God damn, bro. You don't even. Whoo, shit. You just broke that down, bro. Like on some others. Scorpio. You know, I think we just gonna have to do one just on Scorpio alone. Scorpio is deep.
We could do that. We could do that.
We gonna have to because I've heard other astrologers. No astrologers, astrologers. I'm my dumb ass.
Are you right, astrologist?
I've heard other astrologers break down Scorpio, but in that brief little ooh you just did, bro.
See, that's because they are astrologers. You know, we're gonna give them their credit. They do their thing. I am a therastrologist, so
Right,
it's a little bit different. You know, for
right.
those that want to know, therastrology, tune in. But
Facts,
yeah,
big facts. Shout out to say it again.
therastrology. So it's astrology with a little bit more sauce on it.
There we go. There we go. There we
Um,
go. So yeah, we
uh,
definitely gonna have to do a Scorpio. But let's keep it moving because time is definitely ticking. We ain't trying to rush nobody.
yeah, we gonna go ahead and smooth it out. We might go into 8:05 or 8:10, but I don't want to rush the signs, make them feel like they got cheated because the other signs got so much attention.
Right.
So I remember I used to watch astrology videos on YouTube, and then I'm an Aquarius, so you know by the time they get all the way to Aquarius, I think giving Aries a deep detail, and then
Right. Right.
giving Cancer a deep detail, they get tired by the time they get to the I side, so they give us a short little description.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
damn, bro, like give me the same energy you gave them. Like, so I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I'm still give y'all the real spiel. Um, Next we got Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We ain't gonna do the questions no more. I ain't giving. I'm just going straight through the
All right.
thing.
Go ahead.
So
Go
we
ahead.
gonna
You
skip
good?
that part. But Sagittarius is a fire sign. The fire sign that likes to relate, which means it's mutable fire. So when you put mutable plus fire, put it together like a calculator, you got Sagittarius. Sagittarius like to relate all ways of seeing and feeling about things. So the way that you see and feel about it, the way that I see and feel about it, the way that they see and feel about it, the way that we see and feel about it, they like to add all of that up and come to a total conclusion. So Sagittarius is the ultimate expressionist because they're able to express themselves in a lot of different ways. They like actors. They could be this person, they could be that person, they could be a lot of different people at one time because they know how a lot of people see and feel about something. So they know they like to relate to that. The same way how Gemini is the ultimate intellect and the way that Virgo is the ultimate mental compartmentalizer, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's the ultimate, you know, it's it's still the ultimate intellect, but on the inside. So Gemini is the ultimate intellect on the outside. Virgo is the ultimate intellect on the inside. Sagittarius is the ultimate expressionist on the outside, which means when it comes to expressing themselves, Sagittarius got the ups on everybody. They're able to show people exactly how they feel. So, and you won't be confused about it. And that means they could do that if they got to yell at you. They could do that if they could talk to you calmly. They could do that in a lot of different ways because they want to relate to the way that you see and feel about it to make sure that you get their message. They want to make sure that there's nothing construed because they know the way that you see things. They know you see things like this. So since I know that you see it like that, I'm gonna hop in that costume and show it to you to let you know this is what I'm talking about. So Sagittarius is good at telling stories. They good at like anything that's related to the way that other people feel about something, but the way that they feel about it and ready to express how they feel about it. So like they'll be good teachers or preachers, stuff that they went through and experienced through their life. They will be able to relay those experiences in the way that they felt at those times. And like you just feel the energy when a pastor or a preacher is up there doing their thing and they show all of that emotion in what they saying. They will be able to deliver they see the way that they see and feel about it just because they was able to relate to the ways other people saw and feel about situations that they and experiencing with people.
Facts.
So next we got Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's the earth sign that likes to um show show you what makes sense first. So since they want to show you what makes sense first, we got that first word again. This is the last cardinal sign, which means it's the most developed cardinal sign. It's the most developed initiator. So when it initiates, it's not initiating to just show you how it feels about something. It's initiating to show you how they think and what's going to produce results because they are ruled by Saturn. Saturn ain't about how you feel. Saturn ain't about what you think. Saturn ain't about your emotions. Saturn is all about results. Ain't about what you're talking about or none of that. So by the time you get to Capricorn, you don't went through all the other all the other cardinal signs. It's all about what makes sense and being the first person to relate what makes sense. So my bad, my mouth a little dry.
You good?
But yeah, so Capricorn, they like to relay what makes sense first. So you're not gonna really be able to tell them what makes sense because they already came up with what makes sense before you did. And more than likely, what makes sense to them makes more sense than what makes sense to you.
Right,
Well,
right.
in their world. So even if what you saying makes sense, they'll acknowledge it like, yeah, that makes sense, but this makes more sense, and we gonna rock with this. And they good at leading people. They good at having people follow behind what they saying. They good at people follow behind what they think because shit, it's their superpower. 9 times out of 10, what they saying do make sense, and what they
Right,
saying
right.
is a valuable solution. So you can't really argue with them because now, like I said, they done took all of those failure steps already. They done failed a lot of times. So since they failed, they know what steps to take and what steps not to take to make it to a certain goal. They know I got to place this piece specifically right here. They might be real good at chess. They got to place a specific piece in specific places to ensure specific results. And that's kind of Capricorn's superpower. They like to initiate and create new ways to think and practicalize about things, think and make sense about things. They like to initiate and create new ways to think and make sense out of basically anything that's going on. So they like to lead. That's what they like to lead with. So moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. Air is a sign that likes to think and communicate. It's our sign, yeah. It's a sign that likes to think and communicate. So Aquarius version of thinking and communicating is staying fixated. It's a fixated air sign. So you put fixated, then you got air, you put it together like a calculator, and then you have Aquarius. So Aquarius like to think, Aquarius like to stay fixated and stabilized on a way of thinking and communicating. So by the time an Aquarius comes up with a way of thinking and communicating, they gonna stay fixated on that. They're not gonna speed up the way that they talk for you. They're not gonna slow down the way that they talk for you unless they see that that's what they need to do. They're not gonna change the way that they think unless they find out, okay, you know what, the way that I'm thinking is actually counterproductive. I have to develop another way to think, and you're not going to be able to help them do that. They're going to find out a way to do that on their own. And by the time they do that, they're going to be right back in the position of letting you know that they know what they're talking about. So once they decide, bam, this is my shit, this is what I got, this is what I'm going with, it's going to be real difficult for you to tell them or change an Aquarius's mind about something that No. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just say forget difficult. It ain't happening. It's
Nah.
just not about to happen. Especially a developed Aquarius, because the last three signs, same way how Capricorn is the most developed cardinal sign, Aquarius is the most developed fixed sign, which means it's fixated, but it knows when to shift. It knows when to move because it's air. So fixed earth is earth. It's like a boulder. It's like a building. It's not about to move. It's not moving. Forget it. Fixed fire is like a campfire. If it was to move, it wouldn't be good. It don't want to move. It's not trying to move. It's gonna lose all of its shine. It's gonna lose all of the attention that it gained
Right,
by
right.
burning the way that it's burning. So it's not about some. It's not moving. Fixed water, it can move, but it's so deep down that it don't even want to move. It's like I could move if I want to, but I really, really, really don't want to. So I'm not going to. Fixed air is like it's air, so it's gonna move. It's gonna move anyway, but it's moving in the direction to and fro, fixate like being in a balloon.
Right,
So
right.
just think of air being in a balloon. Even though it's moving with its same ideas. It's moving, so it could go here, it could go there, but it's the same air, it's the same idea, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same way of thinking and communicating. It's just moving from one spot to another spot. So it's a little bit more flexible than the fixed signs. So that's why it's the most developed fixed sign. So we like to stay fixated and stabilized on one way of thinking and communicating. But if it runs into somebody that makes more sense, or a situation that makes more sense, then it might move over here. It's still gonna stay fixated on the way that they think and communicate, but it's gonna move over to where the temperature makes more sense as well.
Absolutely.
It can move a little bit. So, that's Aquarius. And then Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, which means they like to eat. They all about the feelings and the way that they internalize their emotions. And it's a mutable water sign.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way how Gemini is the ultimate intellect on the outside, and Virgo is the ultimate intellect on the inside, and then you have Sagittarius, which is the ultimate expressionist on the outside. Pisces is the ultimate emotionalist on the inside. So they have access to all of the world's emotions, like the oceans. They could tap into the to all emotions. You could come to a Pisces with your feelings, and they can directly relate to the way that you feeling and feel more of your feelings than you feeling, because they have access to all of it. Because, like I said, the same way how Capricorn is the most developed cardinal sign and Aquarius is the most developed fixed sign, Pisces is the most developed water sign, it's the most developed mutable sign, and it's the most developed zodiac sign because it's the last sign.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the top of the top. That's why you have Pisces that can experience the God complex.
Right.
Because yeah, you are the top of the top, but even though you at the top of the top, right above you is a whole new beginning that you don't know anything about. So you're not God, basically.
Right.
That's the only thing that's stopping a Pisces from being God, is the fact that they're not God. If they could be God, they would be God, but they ain't, so they can't. So is they like the closest thing, and they ain't a Pisces, so don't think I'm saying something. Yeah, don't think I'm saying this to be nice, but the closest thing to God in the zodiac would be the Pisces. You feel me? I guess because
My
they are the
rising is
most.
in Pisces and moon.
Yeah, because they the most zodiac, they the most developed of all the zodiac signs. This also means they are the most chaotic because they have to deal with everything all of the other zodiac signs deal with.
Deal with.
So they have to deal with the um what they have to deal with, the impulsiveness of Aries, they have to deal with the stubbornness of Taurus, they have to deal with the the what's the yeah, the
Gemini.
I know the Gemini, but I'm the word that I'm thinking about. I'm gonna just say flimsy. Forget it. The flimsiness of Gemini. They have to worry about the emotional chaos of Cancer. They have to worry about the selfishness of Leo. They have to worry all of it. They have to worry about everything that every sign have to go through. Pisces have to worry about all of that. Aquarius does too, but they take all of that and the emotional side of it, throw it out the window. They ain't finna deal with the emotions of that shit, but they do deal with the thought process of it. That's what will have an Aquarius quiet for a long time because they dealing with the thoughts of all the other signs. But Pisces is dealing with the emotions of all the other signs, which is way more chaotic than the thoughts. So yeah, they the most developed, but they are the Pisces is a mutable water sign, which means they like to relate all ways of feeling and internalizing emotions. Yeah. So, man, my mouth is real dry.
Man, you see me scratch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the
Man, I'm
real.
talking
Oh, the real.
real dry.
Well, man,
So,
we didn't pretty much summed it up though. You know.
yeah, we finished it out. We finished it out strong.
Absolutely,
Man,
absolutely. That was
this one was a
definitely.
doozy. Ain't gonna lie.
Hey, but that was definitely good, man. That was a good breakdown. Even more about each sign, though. Like you know what I'm saying. You can break down a sign, but when you break down a sign, when you're talking about modalities, dualities, and you know what I'm saying, it's
The
positive, negative,
qualities.
man. All that good jazz. So
Yeah. So, I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode of Astrology Talk
I know I
Tuesday.
did, man. You
Yeah,
know.
I enjoyed this one. This one was. I like this one.
Facts,
So,
facts, facts, facts. It was
but
definitely great engagement too. So, you know, yeah.
yeah,
So,
so this would be, you know, we appreciate the time. This will be like that lamb chop song. Like if we don't end it, this is a song that
Right,
never
right,
ends.
right, right.
It's a song
All
that-
right, man. I
There you go, right
appreciate
there.
everybody tuning in. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Hey, I appreciate the love. We appreciate the love. Real talk. Until next week, y'all be peaceful. Peace.
Peace out.
Spiritually uncut.
Spiritually un.
Oh shit! I like this one.
Oh, the real. And that joint definitely go hard, don't it? Oh, the real.
Yeah, this one hard right here though. I ain't heard this one. Hey, you gotta sing it. I have to throw them. I have to put some. I have to put some lyrics on this.
Oh, the real. It's good, man. It's go hard.
Peace out. Only one go.
Yes, sir.
Powered by Riverside FM.